Dear students, welcome to RATS in Hematology. As usual, we shall be starting with a case history. This is intended to be a problem-based medicine, though not completely. They give you a clinical scenario and ask you to make a diagnosis. Further to this, the questions are asked. A 45-year-old male presented with a low-grade fever to the medicine OP. There was no rigor, and on examination, he was found to have a massive splenomegaly crossing the umbilicus. What is your provisional diagnosis? The routine hemogram revealed a hemoglobin of 9.5 grams, leukocyte count of 2.52 lakhs, and platelet count of 6.3 lakhs per cubic millimeter. Serum bilirubin was 0.8 milligrams per deciliter, and against this, a karyotyping was asked for. I hope you people have made a diagnosis. What is your diagnosis? The etiopathogenesis, blood picture, and the stages of this disease. Draw neat diagrams wherever required. The mark distribution is given. And the diagnosis is chronic myeloid leukemia, the importance of which is given in the enclosure. So look at this particular picture, umbilicus, and then there is a massive enlargement, and the dots denote where the edges are. Massive splenomegaly carrying or rather crossing the umbilicus sometimes could be palpated in the right iliac fossa. What are the causes? And these are the subheadings that we should be dealing the topic with. Definition. Chronic myeloid leukemia is basically a stem cell disorder. Please understand this word, stem cell disorder, characterized by leukocytosis with immature granulocytes. But it is a stem cell disorder. I shall be explaining what it is. And what are the additional features? There can be a massive splenomegaly, basophilia, and a chromosomal abnormality called the Philadelphia chromosome. These we should be having in mind, and that is our introduction to CML. Look at this picture very carefully. Very well designed thanks to the University of Minnesota. There is a myeloid stem cell, and from this you have got the various series of cells, the myeloblast, and then the various matured forms. Also you get the eosinophils, the basophils. Sometimes you find the myeloid stem cell is also prone to develop the megakaryocytes and the erythroid series. So all come from this myeloid stem cell. There is another lymphoid stem cell that is totally different. So this particular lineage you people should understand. And I told you that this is a myeloid stem cell disorder. Therefore, there will be an increase in all the cells that are shown here. In fact, the platelets also will be increased. This is the only leukemia where platelets are increased. Etiology. It is generally unknown. Many a time it has been an incidental finding. Ionizing radiation has been implicated in the causation. And after the Hiroshima and Nagasaki disaster, or patients going in for ankylosing spondylitis and radiotherapy, they develop CML or any other form of malignancy. Also, it is said to be associated with HLA, CW3 and CW4. HLA means human leukocyte antigen. What are the clinical features? Age. Please be careful. A young patient is unlikely to develop, though there is a variant called a juvenile variant. The patient is usually beyond the middle years. There can be chromosomal abnormality, translocation between 9 and 22. Massive splenomegaly. Massive splenomegaly, and there are 3 M's for it. M for myeloid leukemia, M for myelofibrosis, and M for malaria. Please remember three M's as differential diagnosis. Owing to the immense size of the spleen, it can go in for an infarction. Here I find that there are multiple sites of infarct which are joining together. And I would like to call this a geographic infarct. Patient is prone for infection, anemia, weight loss, priapism, sometimes because of the viscosity of the blood. Owing to the cellular elements, there can be priapism and visual disturbances. This also can come as a clue for you in the problem-based question. This is a karyotype. Karyotype means you arrange the chromosomes of the individual in a particular order, and then you find out whether there is going to be any form of an abnormality. This is called a karyotype. I shall deal with it later in a class on genetics. There is a reciprocal translocation between 9 and 22. And it was found in a patient in Philadelphia, hence the name Philadelphia chromosome. It is negative in a variant called as juvenile CML. The Philadelphia chromosome is this. So this is chromosome number 9 and this is chromosome number 22. This is called the centromere. So obviously this is a short arm and this is a long arm. In the long arm of chromosome number 9, there is a segment called as ABL. And this ABL is detached and it is attached to the chromosome number 22. Simultaneously, you find that part of the chromosome 22 is removed and it is attached to chromosome number 9. Hence, we call it a reciprocal translocation. And it is called the ABL gene. Ultimately, the defective gene that is formed is called the ABL gene or the Abelson leukemia virus gene. And when there is a fusion, it is called as a Philadelphia chromosome. This incidentally is away from it. I would advise you people to kindly make use of this channel called as Game for Students. Gross and microscopy explained. This forms an important part of your examination. Coming back to the mechanism of Philadelphia chromosome. There is a fusion of the BCR and the ABL gene that is shown over here, after which there is an expression of the tyrosine kinase, which leads to unlimited cellular proliferation and leukemia. Also, there is no apoptosis and multiple signaling pathways are there which lead to leukemia. This particular diagram, if you people can draw, will definitely fetch you marks. So the Philadelphia chromosome, there is a translocation. You get what is the BCR-ABL gene, and you find that there is a fusion of this, and it leads to ATP, which is again attached, release of the tyrosine kinase, which leads to increase in the leukemic cells or the formation of a leukemia. What are the general features? Always in hematology, there are two components that you people should write. What are the general features? And then what are the features specific to that particular question? These again are divided into peripheral blood picture and bone marrow picture. In the peripheral blood, I will be able to see a mild anemia, 8 to 10 grams in the early stages. And it is a normocytic normochromic anemia. The leucos are markedly increased and we call it a college girl pattern. The platelets are also increased in the early stages because it is a stem cell disorder. And it is the only leukemia where platelets are increased. Students generally write college girl pattern, but they do not explain what it is. Look at this one. You find that there is a group of college girls. Generally, they are very happy and relaxed, but here appears to be a different scenario. They are about to go in for a strike. I'm not interested in that, but look at the various costumes or dresses that they are wearing, different colors and different designs are all over there. And sometimes added to this, there can be saris and other things. So I find that there is a plethora of colors and designs. That is why it is called a college girl pattern. And see this picture, it is exactly what we see. These are the RBCs which are normocytic, normochromic. But look at the WBCs. All the segmented cells are the mature neutrophils and slightly C-shaped cells. Still, I'm able to see a constriction. It is also going in for a neutrophil. This is a stab form, a metamyelocyte. And sometimes I can get larger cells. This particular cell, it appears to be a myeloblastomy. A nucleolus is also present. So starting from the myeloblast up to the mature neutrophil, I've got a spectrum of cells and hence the term college girl pattern. I hope you people are able to superimpose this picture onto this. And your IQ should not be limited to the college girl pattern alone. This is not a joke. Students write only college girl. They don't describe the blood picture. So explain it. How shall we? Look at this one. So as I mentioned earlier, there are the mature neutrophils. There are the stab forms. This particular cell where there are granules, it can be a promyelocyte or a myelocyte. This again appears to be a myelocyte. And this cell without granules can be a myeloblast. All these are seen. This can be a classic case of chronic myeloid leukemia. Against this, you find in this one, there is a relative decrease in the mature neutrophils, but then there is an increase in these immature cells. Increase in the immature cells, more of blasts, promyelocytes, etc. So when the blast percentage is more than 20, we call it a blast crisis. So look at the variation you people should be able to understand. Obviously, the count is increased. Lab score is something that we use. We use a stain and then we find out the pigmentation or the staining. A low lab score is seen in a case of CML and myelodysplasia, whereas a lab score is increased in a case of leukemoid reaction, inflammatory disorders, and blast crisis. This again is a Philadelphia chromosome. This particular diagram I would like you people to draw. Found in Philadelphia, the structure of the chromosome, there is a reciprocal translocation, BCR-ABL fusion. However learned you are, listen, for listening is the best mode of learning. The blood picture, as I told you, how can we describe it? RBCs are normocytic, normochromic. WBCs are markedly elevated. The count can vary from 1 to 5 lakhs per cubic millimeter. The cells vary from mature neutrophils to blasts. And there is a spectrum of cells, namely metamyelocytes, myelocytes, and promyelocytes. And this is the usual percentage. Myelocytes can be somewhere between 5 to 20, neutrophils 20 to 50, and blasts, we are interested in this one. Myeloblasts are usually between 1 to 5%. Since we are seeing an entire spectrum, it is called a college girl pattern. Also in CML, basophils and eosinophils are all increased in number. That is because it is a stem cell disorder. There are 3 stages of the CML. Earlier, we had discussed the classic phase. the blast can be around 5%, but sometimes it can go up to 9%, which we call as a classic phase. Suddenly, we find that the patient is having an increase in the number of blasts, 10 up to 19%. This we call an accelerated phase. Simultaneously, the platelets can be reduced, spleen can be more larger. And ultimately, the patient goes in for a blast crisis. What is a blast crisis? A chronic leukemia becomes an acute leukemia because the blast percentage is more than 20% in the peripheral blood, 30% in the bone marrow. According to WHO, 20% is sufficient in the peripheral blood and the bone marrow. Look at this one. There is a blast over here. A number of cells are immature and there are fewer neutrophils that are seen. Platelets, however, I can see a good number in the background. On the bone marrow examination, generally it is not mandatory for any leukemia because we are finding the increased cells in the peripheral blood cells. But then in CML, it can be done to exclude an accelerated phase or a blast crisis. Also, when you have started the treatment, in order to assess the response to treatment, you can do a bone marrow examination. Remember these two things. One is to assess the response to treatment, and second one is to find out whether there is any accelerated phase or the blast crisis. Cellularity is increased because of the increase in the number of leukocytic series. Erythropoiesis, normoblastic pattern slightly suppressed. Leukopoiesis, a chronic myeloid leukemia, similar to the peripheral blood. Lymphocytes and plasma cells are reduced. Megakaryopoiesis is normal or increased. Sometimes you get what is called as dysmegakaryopoiesis. And myeloid erythroid ratio becomes a whopping 20:1. Normally it is 2.5:1. The other biochemical findings include increase in the serum uric acid, serum alkaline phosphatase, and LDH. All are increased in the case of CML. The variants include the juvenile variant, which we had mentioned. And since it is a stem cell disorder, sometimes we find monocytes also can be increased, called as chronic myelomonocytic leukemia. Sometimes eosinophils can be increased, chronic eosinophilic leukemia, or it can involve the basophilic series. We call it as chronic basophilic leukemia. So these are all variants of chronic myeloid leukemia. The treatment includes radiotherapy and chemotherapy. Busulfan, thioguanine, imatinib, mesylate. These are all drugs that can be given. Apart from that, there can be interferon therapy. Finally, the treatment of choice could be bone marrow transplantation. I hope you people will be able to enumerate all this. The fate is a set of chromosomes, maybe what we are having. Your fate is already sealed. Nobody can prevent you from achieving great heights. So I wish you all the best. Gracias.